Alrighty, well, hey everybody, I'm Joe Puente, and I am documenting the creation of a cactus cake. And this is not an original idea. I did see one before. It was in a magazine, and someone had taken a couple of steel mixing bowls, some small ones, baked the cake in two of them, and then put the two halves together so they had a nice round looking cake on which to decorate it to look like a cactus. But I'm going to go a little bit different this time. I'm going to try, well, I didn't do the first one, but I'm going to go a little bit different, and I've cooked a number of little cakes and some little Pyrex bowls, and I'm going to make kind of a tall cactus cake. And of course, to complete the effect, and again I saw this in the magazine too, I've got a regular flower pot here, and we're going to put in a false bottom and build the cake up on top of here, and I'll just talk our way through it. So here we go. One of the first things I was concerned about by making a tall cactus cake was structural integrity. And I looked around, and the only thing that I had that could keep the cakes together and stacked were some shish kebab skewers. But the problem with those is that they're really flimsy, and I'm going to be taking this cake with me to a party, so I need it to be real sturdy in my car, and shish kebab skewers probably won't do a very good job. Instead, I decided to just go to the hardware store and get a wooden dowel. So we'll use this to go through the center of the cake, right down into the flower pot, and I sharpened the end with a utility knife so that it will go through the cake without causing too much damage to the cake itself. So we've got our pot, and one of the things that I need to do is to make sure that it's weighted down, because with the false bottom on the inside and the weight of the cake on top, I don't want it to topple over. What we're going to do is put this right in the center of the pot, and of course, like any good flower pot, the center is marked off with a little hole there, normally used for drainage. I've sealed it with a little bit of tape because we're going to fill the pot with pinto beans to keep the dowel in place, and I don't want them leaking out because we're going to be taking it to a party tonight in the car. So we've got our dowel here, and let's open up our first bag of pinto beans. Okay, we're just gonna, there we go, and we're gonna pour those in there. So, there we go. We got it centered there. Alrighty. And we want more beans. Gotta have more beans. Keep it nice and weighed down. I suppose with the beans being brown, we could use the beans as our dirt, but I want the dirt to be edible also, so we're actually going to just use cake crumbs as the dirt. Okay, now we're going to use a tray for our false bottom. Now this is a type of tray that just goes underneath a flower pot normally to collect the water from that hole that we saw earlier. And in this case, I have cut some slits in the bottom of the tray there for the dowel to go through easily. Thusly, we're gonna just tip it over there so you can see that, and we put it right through, and we just set that right down there, and we're in, snug as a bug in a rug. And now that we have our dowel and our false bottom in and the pot weighed down nice and heavy, we're going to get started on the actual cake construction. Okay, this is the first of our cakes. I baked 5 of them, and I just used little Pyrex containers. Now I filled them right up to the top because I wanted the cakes to overflow, and you can see here it made quite a mess. Thankfully I thought ahead to place some aluminum foil on the bottom rack in the oven to collect all the drippings, so I didn't have a big mess, that big a mess to clean up. I wanted this sort of muffin top here because I'm going to use the edge of the bowl, the brim of the bowl, as a guide so that I can have a nice flat surface that I can cut across, and we can have our cakes balanced nice and flat once we start to construct them on the dowel. So we'll get started with this. Okay, so first I'm gonna just trim off the edges here. Now, and there we go, we got our muffin top off, and we're gonna hold on to this because we're gonna turn it into crumbs, and the crumbs are gonna be our potting soil in the false bottom. So I'm going to set this aside just in this bowl here, and we're going to get a different knife here and cut the cake out of the pan. Now of course I followed the instructions. I greased it generously and powdered it, and it's pretty loose. I'm not even really cutting here, I'm just kind of going through the space there. So let's see, it should just pop right out. Yep, there it goes. So we have the first part. This is the bottom part of our cactus, the first part of our construction. So I'm going to go ahead and do this 4 more times. Alright, yes, here's the other cool part. Now, I need to find the center of these cakes. And thankfully, I don't have to do any fancy measuring because I am going to use the lid from one of the bowls. And I went ahead and poked a little hole right in the center. There was a little dot there to guide me, so and I could just set these right here. And I'm just going to mark it with a toothpick. Okay,